Greetings, Nick with Sweetwater here, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at the Fender Switchboard Effects Operator Pedal. This sturdy little gold device right here. Dun, dun, dun. Now, if you're anything like me and you love stomp boxes but are sick and tired of the inevitable tap dancing routine that goes on when you're playing live, the Switchboard is well worth checking out. Simply put, instead of having your pedals in series, the Switchboard's 5 loops allows you to turn multiple pedals on and off with just one deft tap of your foot. For example, I was able to fumble my way through the intro I just played with a mere 5 taps of my foot, one tap at a time. No multiple Bruce Lee foot moves needed. Now, if my pedals were all in series by themselves, I probably couldn't have pulled it off at all. I mean, just going from my clean setting to the lead one would have required me to do the following. Switch off one pedal while turning on another 3 in a split second. That's not going to happen, my friend, not going to happen. I personally have enough trouble trying to play without all that tap dancing nonsense, and I'd probably fall over making that move anyway. Thanks to the Switchboard, though, that change just required one stomp, and I can definitely do that. Allegedly. This unit also gives you complete control over your signal path, as it lets you rearrange the order of the pedals whenever you'd like to without having to unplug any cables. It can also store no fewer than 400 presets you've created, should you need that many. Plus, it'll let you change channels on your amp too via its programmable footswitch output, and it has a bunch more guitarist-friendly features as well. The Switchboard is also a pretty cool gateway device if you're contemplating entering the world of MIDI, but maybe find that realm just a little bit intimidating. This device has a MIDI output you can program to send commands to MIDI-enabled pedals and amps for every single one of your presets. The programming is pretty easy too, it must be. Hey, I can do it. Thus, in my opinion, the Fender Switchboard is a great way of dipping your toes into the MIDI realm without drowning. And just so you're aware, the Switchboard can send MIDI PC and also CC commands. So, whether you're using a MIDI-compatible pedal or 5, or maybe a MIDI switchable amp such as a Soldano Astro 20 or a Marshall JVM Head combo, hook them up to your Switchboard's MIDI output and have at it, my friend, have at it. The top of the Fender Switchboard pedal boasts the following: 6 LED foot switches, a mini color LCD screen, and also an encoder knob. It has 2 operating modes, by the way, loop mode and bank mode, and you can easily switch between the 2 while you're playing by merely holding down the top left-hand foot switch on the unit for a second or so, just like this. Hey presto, I'm now in loop mode. When you're in loop mode, you have real-time control over your pedal board. The foot switches numbered 1 through 5 switch their respective loops on and off, while the FS button allows you to switch channels on your amp once you've set it up to do so. In the case of my board, I set up the unit's foot switch out to toggle between the 2 channels on my Diezel VH4 pedal, just like this. As you can see from the LCD screen, if you'd like, you can easily assign a different color to each loop. You've got red, green, yellow, blue, or white, or if you prefer, none at all. Even cooler is this. The light above the 5 pedal foot switches mirror the chosen color. Check it out. Blue, red, yellow, green, and last but certainly not least, white. Nice. Loop mode is perfect for creating a sound you like and then saving it as a preset and then assigning it to a bank. And that segues us nicely into the Switchboard's other mode, bank mode. So let's quickly switch over to that. And there we are, in bank mode. Now, When in bank mode, I have a choice of 100 banks, and each one has slots for up to 4 presets. The top 2 switches allow me to scroll through the banks like this. Then, when I get to the bank I want, I can use foot switches 1 through 4 to switch between the 4 presets. That's great stuff, really useful. And this means that if I'm smart, and I am sometimes, honestly, I could create a bank for each song in the set I'm playing live. And, as you can see, I can name both the bank and the presets within it. Perfect. In addition to the stuff I've already covered, as you're about to find out, this compact pedal offers a lot of cool guitarist-friendly features. Here's a quick gander of the main ones. First and foremost, I've already mentioned the 5 loops, but they're all true bypass, which is really good to know. Now, loops 1 through 4 are mono and can be reconfigured for momentary switching in addition to latching switching. This means if you want to switch on a loop for a really short time, you just hold its foot switch down and then release it when you're done. Another neat function that prevents unnecessary tap dancing. I like it. As for loop 5, it's a stereo one. Well, to be exact, it has a TRS return for a stereo output pedal. As long as loop 5 is the last loop in your chain, of course, because remember, the other 4 are mono. And, talking of stereo, the switchboard's output can be switched from mono to stereo should you be going the stereo route. And, just so you know, the switchboard's input and output each have a switchable buffer option. In addition to having space for the up to 400 user presets I've already mentioned, the switchboard can also store up to 100 favorites for easy access and editing. And, once again, you can name each one of those too. It also has an expression pedal input. This can control both the internal volume pedal and a MIDI CC parameter at the same time. And talking of the switchboard's internal volume control, you can pick its exact location within the loops for each and every preset. It can be at the front of the loop, at the back of the loop, or somewhere in between, wherever you want. The switchboard's built-in LCD screen lets you see exactly what you're doing when you're editing stuff, and you can also name each loop and preset with the unit's encoder knob, this bad boy right here. Plus, as an extra useful bonus, it has a built-in tuner which mutes the output whenever you access it. And to enable the tuner, all I have to do is hold down the FS button for a second or so like this. And there we have it, my tuner. Let's see if my A's in tune, shall we? Close enough. You get the picture. And just so you're aware, you could use one of the switchboard's loops to set up a 4-cable method with your amp as well, should you wish to do that. As I've already mentioned, in my humble opinion, one of the coolest features of the switchboard is the fact you can change the order of the 5 loops at any time you'd like to. For example, let's say I want to alter the loop order on my Father Zach preset, this one right here. What I'd like to do is this. I want to move my chorus pedal so it's after my Diezel VH4 pedal. And this means I have to move loop 2 so it's after loop 5. Let's quickly do that, shall we? Firstly, when in bank mode, I select the preset I want to edit, which I've already done. Then, having done this, I push the 2 top foot switches together, the ones labeled 5 and FS, to enter edit mode. And there we have it, we are now in edit mode. Having done this, I then rotate the encoder knob until a loop I want to move is highlighted. And in the case of my chorus, that's loop number 1. Then, once it's highlighted, I press the encoder control to effectively grab it. Then, having done that, I turn the encoder wheel until it goes where I want it to go, which is right there after 5. That done, I then press the encoder button twice. The first time is to save the move, and the second time is to confirm I want that loop switched on, which I do, so done. I then press the top 2 foot switches together again to initiate saving my move. And right there you can see on the screen, it's asking me if I want to overwrite that preset, and I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the button like that, and then it's asking me again, am I sure I want to do it? And I am sure, so I'm going to overwrite the preset like this. Deed done. Incidentally, there's another way to do this as well. Let's do that to move my chorus pedal back to where it was initially. Once again, I first select the preset I want to edit, which, as luck would have it, is already highlighted. And then what I do is go back into edit mode by pressing these two buttons together. At this point, as you can see on the screen, there's a blue line around all the pedals. So if I do this, it just asks me to enter the loop order. So as long as I know what it is, hey presto, it's going to be magic. Now, the order I want is 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, because I want my chorus pedal after my overdrive, which is in loop 3. Why do you want to do that, do I hear you ask? Simply this, my friend. That's what Mr. Wylde does. He always places his chorus after his overdrive pedal on his pedal board. So that's what I'm going to do. Now all I've got to do is hit the buttons in the order I want the loops to be, and that order is as follows. 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. And as for this last empty thing, that's where the volume control, internal volume control that I'm not using is. So I'm just going to hit that to do it. And there we have it. I'm back to Father Zach as it was. Now, once again, I need to save it. So press those. It's asking me if I want to save as an overwrite. I do. It's asking me to confirm. I want to. So deed done. Father Zach is back where he should be. Chorus after DS, but before the amp, which is effectively my VH4. Another thing I should point out is this. The ability to reorder loops is also great when it comes to ensuring that the layout of your pedal board is as neat as possible. What a concept. As you've just caught a brief glimpse of, programming this unit is pretty straightforward and is explained really well in both the unit's manual, dun dun dun, and also its quick start. Now, if you want to learn more about editing the unit and also some of the features I haven't touched on yet, we happen to have a pretty comprehensive switchboard video on the Sweetwater website. So, for that very reason, and the fact I'm lazy, I'm not going to revisit or regurgitate all of that cool information Fender's very own Josh Chapman covers in said video. I mean, that would be pretty darn redundant, wouldn't it? So instead of that, I'm going to close this video by quickly showing you how I've used the switchboard as the heart of a pedal board for myself, where all I need is a clean amp and I'm ready to rock. And, as I know you'd hope and expect, a link to Fender's informative switchboard video on the Sweetwater website is below. Right in front of me is the throw-and-go gig pedal board I came up with using the switchboard I just mentioned. And thanks to the switchboard, this bad boy enables me to turn any clean amp into a 3-channel amp without any ridiculous river dance style tap dancing moves. Here's what I've got going on this, and I had a lot of help from Sweetwater's very own pedalboard maven Alex Fernandez, who wired this sucker up way, way, way neater than I ever could. So Alex, thank you, sir. Thank you. Before getting to the switchboard, my guitar signal goes through my EVH wah and also my Wampler Ego compressor pedal. Thanks to its blend control and great sound, I have the Ego on all the time as a tone conditioner. An apt term for a great idea, and I shamelessly stole both of them from my pal Brian Kehoe of Dunlop. Anyway, after going through those two pedals, my signal hits the switchboard with a vengeance. Here's what I've got hooked up, and we'll go through it via loop mode. Right now I'm in bank mode, so I'm going to go back to loop mode by holding this button down again. And there we have it. So let's see what's happening here. In loop 1, I've got my Wylde audio chorus pedal. Very pretty. In loop 2, I've got my MXR EVH Phase 90. Loop 3 houses my Boss Waza Super Overdrive. In loop 4 is my UA Orion tape echo pedal, this bad boy here. And finally, in loop 5 is my Diezel VH4 2 pedal, this one right here. And because I'm smart, allegedly, I've got the switchboard's foot switch output set up to switch between the pedal's 2 channels via the pedal's handy-dandy remote input. And when in loop mode like I am now, I can do said switching via the foot switch, cleverly labeled, wait for it, FS. So let's check it out. This means, thanks to this, like I said at the start, I can convert any clean channel in any amp into 3 channels: clean, crunch, and high gain. Like it. For me personally though, as cool as loop mode is, I much prefer the bank mode where I can create 4 presets in up to 100 different banks. So let's go into bank mode and quickly check out what I used at the very start of this demo, shall we? Now I'm in bank mode, I can use the bottom 4 buttons to access the 4 presets within it. So let's check them out one by one, shall we? First up is preset 1, which is my clean sound. And this one has loops 1 and 4 kicked in, namely chorus and delay. Preset 2 is my classic rock AC/DCS crunch, which is just the first channel of the Diezel all by itself. Preset number 3 is my Wylde inspired heavy rhythm sound, which I named Father Zach. This is the first channel of the Diezel again, but this time with the Boss pedal front-ending it, if you will, and also the Wylde chorus pedal kicked in, but put after the overdrive just like Zach does. Without further ado, let's hear this sucker, shall we, with some really bad playing. Last but certainly not least, we come to my final preset, number 4, which is cleverly named Fat Lead. On this bad boy, I've got 4 of the 5 loops in action, namely phase, overdrive, delay, and the Diezel VH4 pedal on its 2nd channel. Thanks to the switchboard, I can go from my clean sound to that lead with just 1 step of my foot instead of a frantic 4. And that means I can focus more on my fingers rather than on my feet. What a concept! And there you have it, my friend. A quick look at what a meat and potatoes Neanderthal like myself can do with the switchboard. And, as you saw, I didn't utilize the expression pedal or the MIDI options either. So I can only imagine what you'll come up with armed with your arsenal pedals and this golden beast. And, just so you know, which is a really good thing, the unit does come with a power supply in the box. Perfect. As already mentioned, I've literally only just scratched the very surface of what you can do with the Fender Switchboard. And I heartily recommend once again you watch the aforementioned Fender video on our channel for a deeper dive. Once again, the link is below, as are links to all the gear I've shamelessly abused in this short video. For more information on the Fender Switchboard, please go to the Sweetwater website, or better still, call your always oh-so-friendly Sweetwater sales engineer. That said, I'm out of here. Take care. Thank you so very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, nicely please, and also subscribe. Click here for more videos like this and go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs. Cheerio, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.